Eric Roberts has been in hundreds of movies, including blockbusters like Cable Guy, The Dark Knight, and The Expendables. However, his celebrity life has had its ups and downs, like anyone else. Welcome, Eric.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
We're glad you are here. I want to start back childhood, if you don't mind. It's kind of like we're on a couch here, right? But you used to stutter, is that right?
When I was a little boy, I had a terrible stutter. And you know how when you're in grammar school, how everybody reads a stanza?
Yeah.
Well, I would count the people, and I would count my stanzas because I discovered if I memorized my stanza very quickly, I didn't stutter.
Oh, that's great.
So that was the early part of my acting years, was learning lines very quickly.
Learning lines.
Yes.
How did other kids react to the stuttering?
They would laugh. You know, it's funny when you're 5 years old. Hear somebody go, whoa, 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 whoa. Where do I go? You know, it's funny. I would laugh too.
Is that right? So you didn't respond negatively to that?
Yeah, I would beat people up.
Come on, did you really?
At 5 years old?
Yeah.
Oh, bless your heart.
Yeah, I would fight over that.
When did you start using drugs?
Well, you know, I guess the first time would have been marijuana, and that would have been at 13 years old.
Wow, that's pretty early.
Was it that you were curious about marijuana, or?
Marijuana seemed a harmless enough gateway to possibilities of other things. So I checked it out. And it was, you know, it's a very kind drug, if there is such a thing, in that it doesn't make you act crazy or insane or murderous. It just makes you a little silly.
And that became the gateway for you then? From there you went to other things?
Well, sure. Not for years and years.
Okay.
In fact, not really till I'm 19 years old.
19.
And I was turned on to cocaine.
Cocaine.
How did that happen? Was it a party situation, or?
It was a very famous man. His name was Doug Kenny. He started a magazine called The National Lampoon, and he wrote Animal House, the movie Animal House. And yeah, he turned me on to cocaine. He supposedly died making a cocaine deal in Hawaii about 10 years after that.
Oh, my goodness.
Cocaine was a bad thing in his life.
Yeah, it was indeed. You also had an automobile accident, 1981?
1981, yes.
Well, tell me that story.
I was leaving a then-girlfriend's house in the middle of the night. I had to leave for a location for a movie the next morning. And I had a Jeep with the doors off, and her dog was in the car in the passenger seat. And I drive out on the road, and the dog leans way out the door, and I take my hands off the wheel and say, sit down, and look up, and I see a tree, and that's all I remember for 2 weeks.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
The impact of that on your life, what was that?
Oh, it changed everything.
Yeah.
I had no short-term memory for about a year.
Wow.
And yeah, it changed everything. I learned how to walk again. I learned how to talk again. I hit the left side of my head so hard that the right side of my body was like a beat behind my left side.
So you really had a long recovery experience from
It
that.
was rough.
Yeah. Did it change your looks?
Yeah, it made me look a little more rugged.
A little more rugged,
Yeah.
Okay.
How was that psychologically? Just the impact of really looking in the mirror and seeing someone else.
Well, you don't see yourself as looking differently. Other people tell you you do, but you don't really see the difference.
You finally went to Dr. Drew, is that right?
Dr. Drew. Well, I had been off drugs for years and years and years, except for a little marijuana.
Yeah.
And I come home from the gym one day, and my wife says, the Dr. Drew show called. They want to know if you have any drug issues. I laughed with my wife because I really don't, except a little marijuana. And she says they want you to do your show. And I laughed again, and she said, no, I think you should. And I said, for pot? And she goes, not necessarily, but they have a younger audience than you have. I think you should have that audience.
Gotcha.
We're going to have to hold it right there. But when we come back, we'll talk about Eric's fallout from his addiction.
We are joined now by Eric's wife, Eliza, his better half. So thank you for being here as well, dear.
I'm very happy to be here.
We're looking forward to hearing your story together. But first, Eric, I wanted to ask, when you tried cocaine, was it an immediate addiction that you felt, or was it kind of a progression that you went
It was
on?
an immediate friendship. Let me put it that way. You're told by all the other cokeheads, it's not addictive. You're fine. But then when you're buying it from your dealer and you're doing it in the elevator from his floor to the lobby, and you realize I might have a problem here.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, so.
All right. Eliza, you're the one who talked Eric to going on to Dr. Drew, right?
Yes.
Now, was there an ulterior motive to this? Was this just about a younger audience, or was there something else that you were hoping would happen?
The younger audience was part of it,
Yeah.
but also I really thought it was important to expose marijuana dependency, because talk about things that people think are not a drug or not, you know, addictive, and also, I wanted him to get sober off pot.
Yeah.
It was, you know, there was definitely a motive. Also, we like the show, and if you make decisions based on just something that means something to you, those are usually your best decisions.
We like the Drew.
Yeah, I like the Drew. Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
What do you think you learned from that show?
Patience. It doesn't happen because you want it to.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen because you're doing all the right things one day.
Yeah.
You have to get into the groove of how to treat yourself and how to treat your addiction and how to treat your recovery. And it's a trick. It's not something that you just do.
Yeah.
You learn it. And when you have really cool people around you,
That's right.
It helps.
it makes it a really pleasant
big
journey.
difference, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there an event that really made you feel like you had to get over your cocaine addiction?
Oh, her.
Is that right?
Well, you know, it just became it became a choice. And it was like, you know,
Coke or Eliza?
yeah, it's like this drug is awful. What are you doing? It's me or the drug.
Yeah.
How did you two meet?
We met on a plane.
Really?
Yeah, he was coming from New York to LA on location to do one of the best movies, and I was coming from location in New York to LA, and we happened to be seated next to each other,
Oh, you're kidding.
and that did it.
Conversation started?
Yeah, kinda. I mean, we sort of hit our scripts that we didn't want to talk shop, and
She doesn't love when I tell this story, but I'm telling it very quickly. We're both reading scripts, so and we both close our scripts at the same time.
Yeah.
So we kind of have to talk. What are you reading? Blah, blah. Who wrote that? Who wrote this? Blah, blah. She says to me, who's your favorite screenwriter? I said, one guy, David Rayfield. He wrote 3 Days of Condor, Out of Africa, The Way We Were, The Firm, blah, blah, blah. She goes, oh, I know. He's my father.
No.
Yeah. And that was our first conversation.
Is that right?
Yeah. True story.
Love at first script.
Yeah. Thank you.
And so the relationship grew from there, huh?
Not really. No. I asked her for her phone number.
It would be too simple.
yeah,
I asked her her phone number, and she proceeded to tell me that she's in a relationship. I said, I didn't ask to go out with you. I just asked for your phone number.
Yeah.
Anyway, she gave it to me.
Yeah.
And I kept it. And I was in a relationship as well. But when mine ended, or almost ended, I called her.
Yeah.
How long was that?
And we went out. That was about 1.5 years.
Oh, wow.
You kept the number.
And we and we went out, and we were kind of pretty much inseparable for 8 years. We were never apart for like 8 years after we started dating.
Dating, yeah. Are you best friends?
Oh, I would say so.
Is that right?
We actually began the friendship because he called me that night. Jeffrey Dean Morgan, the actor, was my nanny at the time, and he was staying with the kids at the house.
Yeah.
And when I got home, Eric was on the phone. But that was really, we started off with a friendship. I had no idea. I had no idea that.
Call
he
it
had
what
any
you
other
want.
thoughts.
I was attracted to her.
You're
I
attracted to her,
didn't
yeah.
know.
Best relationships come out of best friends, I think.
Yeah.
Good
You know, everybody
friendships,
says that, but it also comes out of being attracted to her.
Well, that's true, too. That's true.
You know?
There has to be that.
Well, it's hard to be best friends with a woman who you're not attracted to. Let's put it that way, all right? I'll go there. Now, I know that you chose your wife over the drug, but there are some other relationships that are still broken at this point, are there not?
The thing about a relationship with a drug is it's always the same, and you know what to always expect.
Yeah.
So it becomes a real intimate, dependable relationship.
Yeah.
And every other relationship requires a little more work or a little more variance in its in its existence. And drugs are almost always the same, and they're always very familiar, and they're always very it's a drive home, if you can understand my image there. And that
you know the way.
Yeah, you know the way, you know the road, you know everything, you know the time of day with the light, you know everything about this journey. And it becomes a comfort zone.
So that has become your relationship rather than
relationships
with people, which are always messy.
Yes, because they are messy. So you figure, you know what? 86 this.
Yeah, forget the people, I'll go with the drug.
Yeah.
We want to hear more about your story. And when we come back, we'll find out about your relationship with your son.
Go ahead, get an apple. We'll be right back.
We are having a thoroughly delightful conversation with Eric and Eliza Roberts. And you are lovely people, by the way.
Thank you. So are you guys.
Particularly you.
Yeah. Of course. I want to talk about your son, though. There was a rift with your son through all of this, through the addiction and the recovery. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Keaton Simons is his name. Keaton and I were always very close from the time we met, from the time he was just going into his teens. And we got very close. Over the next 3-5 years, we got very close. And we really bonded. And then one night, he and his band wake me up playing rock and roll.
There you go.
And I go running up the steps in my underwear, raising havoc. You guys can't do this, blah, 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 blah. And we had a big fight in front of all of his friends. And they kind of...
it's embarrassing for a boy.
Yeah, kind of ended our relationship. For quite a while. I was ready to be fine with it the next morning. But he was mad, and he was mad. And he didn't recover from it for about another 12, 13, 14 years.
It's a long time to be mad.
And then his mom has this great idea. While I do celebrity rehab, she'll have him come play some music for us.
Oh, wow.
And so we killed 2 birds with 1 stone, if you will.
But we don't kill birds, of course.
We don't.
But
we
that
don't
provided
kill
the
birds.
right setting. For
it did
a
provide the right
reconciliation.
setting. Thanks for understanding that. Yeah.
During the little incident with him, though, were you using drugs at the time?
Yeah, sure. Not like cocaine and what have you. Those days were over. But I was doing things like, what's the name of that sleeping aid?
Unisom, you're doing.
Unisom was my drug of choice.
Is that right?
Yeah. And the Unisom is very bad on the moods and very bad.
So you think that had an impact on?
Of course it did.
On the experience with your son.
Of course it did. And because had I just been asleep, I would have reacted differently probably.
Right.
Yeah.
Was your son reluctant to come to the celebrity rehab and to do this?
It had gotten to the point where he was really controlled by his fear of seeing Eric again. It had become
he had
a
really
phobia.
been frightened.
Yeah, it had become a phobia, and he realized that wasn't good for anybody, for the family or for him. But he didn't know a way to really bridge that. And he talked about it in therapy, in his own therapy. And then when this came up, what actually happened was the people on the show, Damian Sullivan, fell in love with Keaton's music and wanted him to come and play at Family Day. And I hadn't told anybody about them being estranged. So I was like, well, can you do that maybe where Keaton plays, but Eric's not there that day, and then Eric's there, but Keaton's not there, and Damian said to me, what's going on? And I was going to make up a little story, and I thought, wait, these are shrinks. This is therapy. This is rehab, recovery. And the kids were very concerned. Part of it was Keaton had tremendous concern about Eric's drug use, including prescription meds, and our discovery through Andrew Weil about these antihistamines, basically over-the-counter sleep aids, which put you in a terrible mood once you're rested, and suddenly you're, and it was just the ups and downs. So so I just told the truth. I said to Damian, they haven't spoken, and Eric's drug use had a lot to do with it. And he said, well, wait, maybe Dr. Drew can help. And I said, I'll ask Keaton, expecting him to say no. But he said, I like Dr. Drew. I like the work he does. It's time for me to do this. As long as there are no tricks. Like, I'll go talk to Drew. If there's cameras, it's fine, but I just, no surprises. I'll say when I'm ready. And so what you saw on that show was completely real. That happened in the moment, on the day. They told me to kind of stay out of it as much as possible, so I just sat there crying.
Yeah, of course,
And they hugged. It was so beautiful. It was, oh my gosh. And the world just, you find so many people have the same story.
Yes. And there's so many broken relationships that everybody can identify with.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Have there been other people in your family that you've had to reconnect with?
Everybody. Everybody.
That's a good answer. Someone who's gone through drugs.
Every single relationship you have is altered by drug abuse.
It is.
And if you think not, you're not thinking.
That's right.
And so every one of them had to be dealt with.
What is your relationship like now with Keaton?
It's pretty remarkable because we're both grown-ups. I've known him since he was a boy, and we've gone through incredible love and respect for each other, incredible disappointment in each other,
of course.
and then incredible love and respect for each other again. And I love him like I love my life. I love that boy completely.
You had mentioned earlier that every relationship of your life is affected by the drugs. It's also been said that marriage to an addict is not a marriage at all because they will choose the drug of choice every time. Was that true? You know,
it's so funny because it's such a great question. Your addict will tell you that they can stop anytime and they're not choosing the drug. They have no idea what it feels like to be us and to realize they don't really have the choice. They're not choosing anything.
No.
It's you know, it's the joke's on them. They've already been chosen. They're enslaved by this this substance and the relationship that is created from that. And you're kind of out. But it was actually a psychiatrist named Dr. Ronald Podell who said to me one day, "You have so much more leverage in this situation. You're afraid, as the co-addict, if you will, to even." To even request that the person save their own life. It's like you're making trouble. And the addict will say to you, if you just would leave me alone, everything would be fine. And you actually think that may be true. And Dr. Podell said, you have every right to object to Eric nearly killing himself every day. And you can tell him. And it's funny when a person hits bottom because Eric was in a car accident. There was drugs involved in that. I mean, he was in a coma. But it was finally the simple, smaller things in life that did it. I mean, partly it was just like, I mean, with alcohol, which wasn't really his drug of choice, he was like, I'm not looking great. I'm not going to drink anymore. So that was vanity. Done.
Well. In your job, you have to do that.
Oh, for sure. With cocaine, there was kind of a feeling of, oh, people do get heart attacks from this, and I might be one of them. And then it was just, you know, one day I said, hey, you know what, next time I see you, it'll be during family visit at rehab. There's nothing else to say. And I was sure that he was going to leave me. I mean, that's what you worry about.
But he decided not to.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to have to end right here for a bit, aren't we?
Yes, we will. We'll be back with a few closing words right after this.
I got to tell you, Eric and Eliza actually like each other. I've been watching them. They do like it. This is a good marriage, and you've been so kind and gracious to share your stories with us. But our viewers know that you've got a message for them. Your story is impactful, but there's got to be a message as well. Eric?
Well, not to oversimplify it, because it sounds oversimplified, but it is this simple and this important. The Beatles said it best. All you need is love. And if you really have love, you're going to be okay.
Good for you. Eliza?
And to add to that, love is sometimes saying the difficult stuff, the controversial stuff. And I think that if you treat your lovers like friends, you would tell a friend if you were afraid that they were in trouble. Do that with the people closest to you, your family. Treat them the same way that you would just a simple friend.
Care enough to confront at times, which is what you did, isn't it?
Absolutely, that's love.
In kind and gentle ways. Thank you so much. Thank you, both of you. I have a new appreciation for the two of you. You are kind, gentle souls. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And we want to thank you for being a part of this one as well. We look forward to seeing you again next time. But until then, you take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
To get a copy of today's offer, please call 888-940-0062 and be sure to visit our website at lifestyle.org.